Welcome back, gents. So last week we looked at physical related components of fitness. Today we are going to look at the skill related components of fitness. Okay, it's really important that you're able to differentiate between the two. When you sit your exam, you usually get a one marker, multiple choice, and to select the correct component of fitness. And obviously you don't want to be dropping marks for something as simple as that. So just make sure that you're able to group the two. So in this PowerPoint, in this presentation, you're going to embed the term deal. Obviously, we looked at deal last week, and you did a deal response to a question. You're going to embed that now. We're not going to be putting in waggles and stuff for you. We want to see what you can do on your own, okay? Obviously, when it comes to your exam, we need to ensure that you're independent and that you're able to successfully sit that exam on your own without any help. So that's why we start to take things away from you, such as some waggles, obviously, but we will help, okay? And I'll go through it with you anyway. You're going to identify the definitions, just like you did with physical. You're going to identify the definitions for skill, and then you're going to answer a long answer question at the end. So let's have a look at the two components of fitness, and there's our groups. You can do it like this as an A map or as a spider diagram, whatever you want to call it. But it's really important that you group them. If you do it as a list, it's absolutely fine. It doesn't matter how you go about grouping them so you can remember, you just need to group them. What's really important, and I'll just hover over, you notice speed comes under physical, okay, not skill. However, on the GCSE specification, it comes under skill, okay? So it's really, really important that if you're doing any revision, that you revise the right thing, which is BTEC Sport, because speed sits under skill and not physical, but we need it in this group here under physical, okay? So the skill related components of fitness are agility, power, balance, coordination, and reaction time, okay? So similar to last week, works exactly the same really in terms of layout and format. You're going to provide a definition for each of the ones. Now, it's really important that you start being able to sort of write your own definitions, obviously using the specification to help, but not copy and paste. The reason being, when it comes to your exam, you need to be able to remember it. So on your work, same as before, you're just going to put the definitions in here, okay, alongside each term. So you've got agility, power, balance, coordination, reaction time, okay. So you then provide your example, just like we did previously, and just like you were shown in the last piece of work. The process is exactly the same, and to some extent you are creating a plan for your piece of work. However, this is just very generic at this moment in time until you get to your question. So same as before, put your picture in here and describe, okay? Be really descriptive, but be really clear. So for example, we've got here a gymnast balancing on a balance beam, okay? So moving through into explain, and it's really important again that you explain why it is important to sporting performance, all right? And that's the big thing with this exam and Unit 1, it's about sporting excellence, it's about sporting performance. It's not necessarily about Johnny who's, you know, trying to get fit, etc., which your Unit 3 is more about. Unit 1 is about sporting excellence and about sporting performance, and you usually get asked questions relating to performance, okay? So that's really important to understand. So once you've done that, you're going to then explain each of your sporting examples. Same process. You've done this with the last piece of work. All right. So put your picture in underneath each term. So all you would do is you would just click in there, and then you'd insert your image. Okay. Insert your image. You can just go insert image, upload from your computer or your drive, depending on where you've put it, and then just insert your image. Dead easy, gents. Okay. And again, you'll get used to doing this more and more often as you work through Google Docs, all right, especially when you've put inserting images that you've taken, particularly for Unit 3, which is your training program, and for Unit 6, which is your sports leadership. You will upload images of yourself performing, all right? So once you put your picture in, explain it. Why is it important to successful sporting performance, okay? Like I said last time, try and stay clear of football. If you can, you should be able to quite easily explain why a footballer would need agility, power, etc. All right, try and use different sporting examples, please, gents, because when you come to answering your questions, the question that you generally get isn't always football. You might, like I said last time, you might get boxing, you might get hockey, you might get rugby, you might get rowing, you might even just get athletics in general. You might get maybe 400 meters, okay, 800 meters. So it's really important that you're able to tennis, that you're able to differentiate between. So the question then is, Sasha is a winger for her local hockey club. Explain why Sasha would require agility and coordination for successful sports performance. As you can see, this is a 6 marker, which would require 2 deal responses, okay? We identified last time in the PowerPoint, okay, that you do that every 3 marks, all right? So it's really important that you do 2 deal responses. So going back to the question then, there's agility. What I want you to do is plan your answer first. You've done it a little bit up here, okay? That is a plan, all right? So you could do something similar, but it needs to only be in note form. You're not writing the answer here. This is your opportunity just to scribble some information down. Obviously, under your independent learning strategies is have a dump. All right, so just ensure that you've put the definition, just some key points. Provide a clear example, but this example has to fit Sasha. It has to fit Sasha, that she's at a hockey, that she plays hockey, and we mean hockey with a ball, not with a puck. And really important that you understand that, gents. They don't put it would be ice hockey otherwise. This is hockey with a ball and a stick, okay? And she's a winger, and that's really important, okay? That term there shows why does she need, as a winger, why does she need agility? Okay, we start looking at changing direction, speed and under control, but being a bit more specific than that, going around plays, etc. Okay, then explain why she needs it, why it's important, okay, and then link that question back to this. Okay, so link your response back to the original question. All right, and then you'll do the same for coordination. Once you've got your little plan, okay, normally under normal circumstances this would be written in your book. You'd probably do it as an AMAP. Okay, we generally get you to do it as an AMAP. Obviously under these circumstances reasonably difficult. If you want, okay, rather than putting your plan in here, have a piece of paper next to you and you can do it as an AMAP. It's entirely up to you. Put your plan in there if you want, but you don't need to. So if that bit there is blank, okay, but you've answered your question really, really strongly, then we'll understand obviously that you've probably done it on paper. If that's blank though, and your answer's weak, then it might be that you've not done a plan. All right, so make sure you do that plan. And then once you've got your plan, you can start putting it together, okay? And then you can start putting your full answer in there, okay? And it'd be 2 paragraphs, all right? With the deal response. One thing I would get you to do as well, and I would recommend it, is once you've written your first paragraph, you've written your first deal response, go through that paragraph and just highlight where have you put the deal. So have you put the D? Where's the definition? Is that in there? Tick. Where's the example? That's in there. Tick. Where's the explain? That's in there. Tick. And if I linked it back to the question, tick. Right, happy days. All right. Sometimes when we've looked at some of the work previously, what we tend to find is that maybe the definition's missing, or the example's not specific enough, and maybe even the explanation is a little bit weak. Where we find explanations being weak is because they have not referred to the fact that she is a winger and that she's playing hockey. And that's really important that you do that, gents. All right. So go back to the PowerPoint then. And that is your work for this week. You've noticed again that there are no waggles on there, and that's done on purpose, okay? Because you did it, it's the same process that you did for physical. So if you're unsure, have a look at the waggle on the physical and relate it to skill, okay? And that's really important. We'll talk about metacognition, understand why you're doing stuff, transferring information from one thing to another. All right, so good luck, gents. Any problems, like I said, just email your subject teachers. They'll be more than happy to help. And well done. Keep working hard, boys, and we'll see you soon.